In this video, we're going on a fantastic tour, the best tour of Little River, South Carolina. It's absolutely beautiful. I'll show you everything, all the best spots. We're talking about the best attractions and the most luxurious golf resorts. We'll take a look at top neighborhoods like Bridgewater and Heather Glen. They're doing terrific things with the real estate there. I'll even show you what people are saying about living in Little River. We're going to hear it all, the good, the bad, the ugly, and I'll give you the rundown on the cost of living, plus the schools, the real estate market, even the flood zones. We've got you covered. So grab a coffee and let's head to my computer and get this virtual map tour started. All right, so we're back on my computer here and I'm pulling up the map here, the Google map of Little River. I want to give you an idea of where it lies in the grand scheme of things. So this is Little River right here. And it's right on the border of North Carolina, which is awesome because it's close to one of my favorite spots, which is Calabash. Love going there to eat seafood. It's a seafood capital of the world. Really nice food there. Awesome restaurants. Small town feel. We'll love it. You definitely have to visit if you're ever in town or if you plan to move here. Definitely give that a visit while you're down here. You also have the Intercoastal here. Let me clear this up. So the Intercoastal is, let me zoom in for a second. So you have the Intercoastal right here. So you're right by the Intercoastal, which leads out all the way out to the big blue ocean. So you can go right out to the ocean from here. And want to show you one of the biggest attractions here in the Little River area, which is the Big M Casino. The Big M Casino right here. This is it. The Big M Casino. You can go out on a boat and go gambling. So they have two boats currently. One of them is being repaired, it looks like, last time I checked. So typically they have two boats running, especially during tourist season. But right in here, you can also charter boats to go fishing. You can go crab fishing. You can charter crab fishing boats. You can also go, you can rent jet skis. And there are a bunch of restaurants in this area. In this area here, if we look at the aerial view, there are a bunch of restaurants in here, but the Big M Casino is right here. There goes the boat. The boat is right here. That's the Big M Casino. All right, and another thing people like to go visit is the Marine Memorial Gardens, which is another tourist spot. So let's see if I can give you a street view of this. So I guess this is the entryway. Let's see if we can go in. Look at that. We can go in. We can go in, no access, but this is it here. And if we switch to the aerial view, you'll see what I'm talking about. So you can go in here and walk along the trail here that leads out close to the water, close to the Intercoastal there. So that's another spot that people love to visit. Now let's look at where the hospitals are in Little River. So you got one main hospital here. You got 𝗕𝗄𝗁𝗂𝗁𝗂𝗁 Hospital right here. And you have a bunch of golf communities. Golf clubs, country clubs. You have one here, the Eagle's Nest. Right here, you have the River Hills Golf and Country Club there. And the good thing is the hospital's right here. So you don't really, in case you throw your back out, it's not that long of a drive. And here you have the Harbor View Golf. And all the way down here, you have the 𝗏𝗏𝗏 Waterway Golf Club. So a lot to do here, as you can see. And we're going to be discussing this later on, the cost of living in the area, also the medium age, and some of the market stats and some of the available homes in the area. And as I discussed in the opening, we're going to be checking out what people are saying that have lived here in the past or that are currently living here. So you get an idea, because there are a lot of pros and cons to moving down here. And one of them being, the cost of living. You're living in a tourist area, so there is going to be some traffic during tourist season. But before we get to that, let's look at the schools in the area. Let's see what 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏 is saying about the schools in the area. So here you have the 𝗕𝗏𝗃 Early College High School. It is an A+. The Palmetto Academy of Learning and Success Charter School, A-. You have the North Myrtle Beach Middle School. It is an A-. You have the Waterway Elementary School, which is an A-. And the Bridgewater Academy Charter School, which is a B. North Myrtle Beach High School, which is a B. Again, you can review all these. If you're moving down here with your family, with your kids, it's good to know what the school ratings are, just so you have an idea, and you want to make sure that your kids do get a good education. 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏 is a place to go to find that out. Now, let's look at the cost of living. Before we get to that, I just want to give you a quick overview, which I didn't mention. How far is, say, I'm sorry, let me just go back. Okay, so how far is Little River to, say, the airport? So if you are traveling, if you are flying out, you want to know how far it is from the airport. So if we go to Myrtle Beach International, just so you get an idea. So you're looking at a 43-minute commute to the airport. Not too bad. And all along here, you have the Myrtle Beach, all the attractions to Myrtle Beach. So you're close to all the Myrtle Beach attractions, about 20 to 30 minutes out to 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏 Beach, or the beaches along the Myrtle Beach area, North Myrtle Beach area. So you're close actually to North Myrtle Beach, which is right here. But you can decide whichever beach you want to go to. Cherry Grove Point, which is obviously much closer to you. But I just wanted to give you an idea of where Little River lies, the distance to the airport, just so you have an idea going forward. So let's go back to Little River. And the thing that I wanted to speak about now is the cost of living, which is something that a lot of people are interested in. So for instance, I moved here from New York a couple of years ago. And the reason I moved down here was because of the property taxes, the cost of living, the homes. And so I use this website, 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏𝗏, and according to 𝗏𝗏𝗀𝗏𝗏𝗏, I moved from New York and I moved to Myrtle Beach. But I put Little River here because we're talking about Little River, to see how much the cost of living is here compared to New York. So the cost of living in Myrtle Beach is 59.6% lower than New York, and the housing in Little River is 86% lower. Now, if we look at the averages, 100, right? 100 being the national average, Little River overall is 8%, -8% the national average. Okay, so it's 8% less than national average. Housing in the area is 32% below the national average, the average being 100%. Utilities, though, according to pay scale, is 17% more than the national average. Groceries are 1% more than the national average. And transportation, 10% more than the national average. So it's all comes down to, it's relative to where you're coming from in your financial situation, and stuff like that. But just so homes here in South Carolina, in the Horry County area and Georgetown area, they are taxed at 4% of the appraised value of the home, or 6% if it's not your primary. If it's your secondary home, they taxed you at 6%. If you're from out of town and you have a second home here, it's not your primary, they tax you at 6%. And I'll give you an example. When I lived in New York, I was paying over $14,000 a year in taxes. My current taxes down here in Myrtle Beach, where I live, are $1,100, a little over $1,100 a year. So now you know why I moved down here. Even though groceries may be a little bit more expensive, or, utilities, I'm still ahead of the game down here because of it. Again, it's all relative to where you are coming from. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is the median age in the area, there are a lot of young families that do move in the area because of the school systems, the schools being rated some of the top schools in the area, but the median age is 60. All right. So it is an older crowd. Obviously, a lot of retirees move in town. A lot of people from, up and down the coast, they move to South Carolina because it's the middle of everything. So I originally was going to move to Florida, but I wanted to be in the middle. So if I did want to go to Florida, I'm 11 hours away. If I did want to go to New York, I was 11 hours away. I tend to drive because I do have dogs, but a lot of people move down here. The people that live in Little River are 60 years old. But again, in a lot of these newer communities, there are a lot of young families moving in from other states, and they're moving into Little River because of the schools. As you saw earlier in this video, I showed you what the school ratings were. Now let's talk about, now I want to move on to the market stats in the area really quick. And again, towards the end of this video, I'm going to show you what homes are available in the area to give you a little idea of what the price ranges are. And I'm also going to be going over what people are saying about Little River, who have lived here or who are currently living here. So really quick, let's look at the market stats. Let's look at the sale price. Let me just lower my face here. The sale price of the median sale price right now in Little River, it is the orange being Little River and the blue being the entire MLS system, which consists of Horry County and Georgetown County. Little River is in Horry County. So just to let you know, the blue is the entire MLS system. And according to our stats here, as of October 2023, the medium house price is $328,000, a little over $328,000, whereas the entire MLS is $324,000, a little over $324,000. So it is a little bit more expensive according to the entire MLS. But again, it all depends. I always say real estate is hyper local, so you want to make sure that you do speak with a real estate. If you have any questions, let me know. I can go over the stats with you. I can tell you what homes are selling for in the area and stuff like that. So the next thing I want to go over is the list to sale price. Okay. So the percentage of list to sale price, as you can see here, before we go on, the definition of that is basically homes, when someone lists a home, how much the seller is getting compared to what they listed the home for. So for instance, during the whole pandemic in April of 2021, homes in Little River were selling at 100% list to sale price, which means that sellers in the area were getting either list price or above list price, which means there were bidding wars and stuff like that. So they were selling at about 100% list price. And as you can see, there was a huge dip here, and then it went back up November of 2022, and it slightly went back down, and pretty much we're back down to a more normalized market of 98.6 in Little River. So everything normalized. I mean, the COVID era was one of the most, fascinating in one way and scary in another. But in terms of real estate, things were like, it was a 𝗘𝗵𝗶 phase of real estate where people were lining up to buy homes, and especially coming down from, New York. People were coming down because New York was shut down. And it was maddening, even in New York, because at the time I was still in New York selling real estate in New York. I do have my license up there, and I was selling homes. And even during COVID, we had lines of people going to open houses to see homes. People coming from, because I used to sell homes in the suburbs. So people from the city wanted to move to the suburbs because they wanted to buy a home with a pool or a home with a bigger yard, because they wanted to make sure that next time they got locked down, they had a place for their kids they had the place to entertain their kids. But it was nuts. And also the interest rates at the time, if you do recall, they were pretty low. But now, since the interest rates have gone up, the list of sale price has gone down. But again, we're still at a shortage of inventory. And which is the next graph I want to show you. The month supply of homes in Little River is at 3.2%. In the entire MLS, it is at 3.6%. So pretty much what this means is 3.2 represents the months of inventory of homes on the market. Anything under 6 months is typically considered a seller's market. Anything at 6 months is a neutral market, and anything over 6 months of inventory is considered a buyer's market. So you just have an idea. So whenever you see the month supply of homes in months, so you have an idea of where that is. So as you can see here, we're at 3.2%. And in March of 2022, we were at, in Little River, we were at 0.8% of homes. So homes are flying off the market. All right, guys, I'm interrupting this for a second. Just want to let you know that Little River is on the rise, and we're on a mission to spotlight every gem it has to offer. So get ready for some in-depth exploration of the most sought-after subdivisions, master plan communities, including Bridgewater, Heather Glen, and Lafayette Park, and so many more. I mean, we're taking things to the next level with some high-quality video walkthroughs, some sweeping drone tours, giving you a bird's eye view of the area's charm. Plus, we'll take you on exclusive tours inside the latest model homes and show you the top-notch amenity centers. Stay tuned, experience the best that the area has to offer right from the comfort of your own couch. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single video. So now let's head back to the computer. All right, so now let's go and see what's available, what homes are available in the area. So if we look at the map of Little River, we here on my website, you have homes upwards of 2 million if that's what you're looking for. So for instance, this home right here is listed. If this is something you're looking for in Little River, again, there's a little bit for everybody here. If you are looking in this price range, you have homes like this in the Little River area. You also have homes at a much reasonable price. So say, for instance, you have a lot of new construction homes in the area. You have a lot of resales. So for instance, this one here is at $800,000, and this is elevated, and it's in a gated community and on a golf course. So this one is listed at, what is this one listed at? 800,000, as I mentioned. Let's look at some of the pictures from the inside. So this is on a golf course, and it's by the water, which is why it is elevated, because it is on a flood zone, most likely. So as you can see, it's elevated. But that's listed at 800,000. Let's see what else is listed in the 600 range. So in the 600 range, you're going to get a lot of new builds, because there are a lot of communities in the area, up and coming communities. So this one is in the Bridgewater community. As you can see, the amenity center is tremendous. So these are all new constructions, and make sure that you subscribe, because we're going to be touring Bridgewater, which is one of the biggest master plan communities in the area, and has some of the best amenities in the area as well. So let's see what else is available in the $500,000 range. And let's go to the next page. So in the $500,000 range in resale, we have this one here. So if you do not want new construction, and say you want something that's been lived in and broken in, you can buy something like this at just under $600,000. I mean, as you can see, it does need some work. You do have to put some work into that. You can buy something like this. Let's see what else is available. For instance, this one here is just under $600,000. And if you're looking to live the farm life, you can buy something. You can buy something like this, if this is what you're looking for. So again, no matter what you're looking for, let me know. I can help you out exactly. We can have a Zoom call, and I can pretty much go over exactly what you're looking for. We can pinpoint the perfect location for you. And again, we're going to be talking about flooding issues in the area. So that's one of the things I do for my clients. I make sure that whatever home they are going to look at, that it's not in a flood zone, because that's very important. And let's see what's in the $400,000 range, just so you get an idea. Again, these are just these are still in the 500s and the 500s. Let's see what's available in the 400s. So in the $400,000 range, you can buy something like this, which is just under $500,000. These are new construction, as you can see. So you can get something like this. So this is a very unique design to the area. Very different from the other homes we've been looking at. And you got big garages and stuff like that. But this one's listed at just under 500. And it's a 3 and 2. And the square footage is just under 2,000 square feet. And if we look at, let's check out to see what's at the $300,000 range, $300,000 range. Actually, let's look at one more that in the mid 400s. Let's take a look at this one here. So this is in the mid 400s. Again, this is a resale. If you need to move quick and you can't wait for a home to be built, you can always buy a resale. This is in the Hidden Brook section. So you can buy something like that. And last but not least, let's see what's available in the $300,000 range. So for $300,000, you can get a 2 and 2 and 2.25 baths. So you get 2 bedrooms and 2.5 baths. So you get 2.5 bathrooms. And you can buy new construction here. This is a new construction. Again, 2 bedroom, 2 baths. So if you're looking for something small, you don't want anything big, you want a low maintenance home, this could be your deal. It's in the $300,000 range. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about is the flooding issues. Okay. The flooding issues. And then we're going to get into the reviews, what people are saying about living in the Little River area. Friend, really quick, I needed to interrupt this video for a second. I wanted to tell you about something really special. I am the co-founder of the Heroes Agents, serving first responders and members of our military when buying or selling a home by giving back with no strings attached. Through our Hero Rebate Program, we've given back over $60,000 in rebates to our heroes as a way to say thank you for your service. Visit theheroesagents.com, theheroesagents.com to learn more. Now let's head back to the computer. So according to riskfactor.com, there are a little over 1,000 properties in Little River that have a greater than 26% chance of being severely affected by flooding over the next 30 years. This represents 26% of the properties in Little River. So as always, anytime you live in the by the coast, there's always going to be a risk of flooding. It all depends whether it's a low risk, a moderate risk, or an extreme risk. And something I do again for my clients is anytime we go shopping for a home in the area, I make sure that it is not in a flood zone. If that's something that they're concerned about, I make sure we do our due diligence and we let them know if it is in a flood zone or not. Now let's look at some of the reviews. What are people saying about living in Little River? So the first one we're going to look at is this one. It says, living in Little River is quite interesting since we are basically a part of North Myrtle. We get all the tourists that come down because we live on a beach. The town always gets filled up with people that do not live here, and the traffic gets so bad you have to schedule of when the roads, you have a schedule of when the roads are okay to drive on. The town is nice since we live on the beach, but I always wonder if I like to live somewhere, she said live somewhere else that isn't too touristy. Maybe it will change once I go off to college. I will get a new experience and I might love it. So there you have one review. Another person says, I moved to Little River about 6 to 8 months before COVID hit. It has never been the same. I was looking forward to being closer to the beach, meeting new people, and finding a friendly job. Finding a friendly job has been the hardest. People are nosy, selfish, don't really care about each other unless there is a disaster. Way too many tourists now, and people continue to move into the area. Supposed to be tax-friendly state. One of the reasons I moved here. However, with all the people moving here over the last couple of years, taxes are no longer friendly. It's just not what I expected. I'm really disappointed and saddened. I'm looking for a new place to live, but even that has turned out to be a difficult process with the cost of everything these days. It's only a matter of time before there is only rich and poor, and the middle class will cease to exist. So that's another review here. Again, the reason I moved, everything is relative. Maybe she's lived in South Carolina her whole life, and so it's relative to her. Taxes have gone up. You know, for me, coming from New York, I feel like I'm saving a bunch because I was paying so much in taxes. So it's all relative to your situation. Other person says, I love Little River because the crime rates are low and the diversity is amazing. I went to school in Little River and it was the best education I could have ever asked for. So you have somebody who, we did speak about the educational system here and the school ratings, and they average about an A+, an A, and even A, to be honest with you. Not, honest, but according to niche.com, it's the average is an A. So another person writes, Little River is a small town next to North Myrtle Beach. This is very big tourist town, so traffic gets to be the issue. When I first moved here 5 years ago from Poughkeepsie, New York, there were not as many buildings and people. The small town of Little River is growing more and more each year, and it's changing. So that's another person who doesn't like living in a tourist area. Again, you are living in a tourist area and it's something you have to deal with. But for me, the traffic is a non-issue because coming from New York, the traffic was ridiculous. Little River is a beautiful area. This area has been growing consistently over the past few years. Little River tends to be an older community. There are many small shops and physician offices in the area. This area is kept up very well. I love Little River because it's between Calabash and North Myrtle Beach, which are both equally amazing. Little River is full of hidden treasures, great food, fantastic people. Attractions include taking a walk on the beach or taking a hike in the nearby marine gardens. Young and old, there is always something fun to experience. So she's mentioned Calabash, which I mentioned earlier, where I love going there to eat seafood. It's like the seafood capital of the world. Haven't been to the gardens yet. I have to check that out. I love Little River. I've been living here majority of my life and I wouldn't change anything. The environment is great. Little River is a city just over the bridge of North Myrtle Beach. North Myrtle Beach High School is located in Little River, so it's right next door, which makes the commute really easy. Little River is 5 minutes from the beach, and North Myrtle Beach is where all the tourists go visit, which makes it the best place to work during the summer. It's really friendly, diverse community. I'm able to go outside for a walk at night without fearing for my life. Since Little River isn't on the beach side, that makes the houses a lot more affordable, and they are also extremely nice. So I can sit here and go through reviews, but you can do it yourself if you want to figure out if it's the place for you, if that's the place you want to move to. So as you can see from the reviews, Little River has a mixed fan club. Some fall for its charm immediately, while others find it too serene or conversely too bustling for their liking. It really boils down to what you're into. But that's exactly what we're here to help you figure out. Our one-on-one Zoom chats aren't about basic stuff like where you're moving from or your budget. We get right to the heart of it, finding out what you love and what you're not so keen on. Plus, when you're stuck on choosing between places, we're right there with you to figure things out. We'll be here to guide you every step of the way. Hey, sure, you'll find tons of opinions online of people saying it's the best place on earth and others warning you to stay away. Trust me, I've been in your shoes. I've moved here a few years ago and I've got the inside scoop. That's why we're passionate about helping you out. For more videos, click here.